Because what the issue is of their activity is something merely novel.
Novel. That's right.
Not radically new,
No.
but novel.
It's like creative writing, teaching creative writing. It's so absurd.
Exactly. Yes. Now I do, I think, grasp precisely the distinction that you've made. And I must say I fully agree with that.
Unless you feel new, you can't create anything new.
That's right. And the person who imagines that he is creative in this other sense that we pointed to is a person whose reference for his activity is this observer that we mentioned, that is tied to the past.
Yes, that's right.
So even if something does appear that is really extraordinarily novel, merely novel, but still extraordinarily novel, they're kidding themselves.
The novel is not the creative.
Exactly.
The novel is just,
Right. And today, especially, it seems to me in our culture, we've become hysterical about this because in order to be creative, one simply must rack his brains in order to produce something which in itself is bizarre enough to get attention.
That's all. Attention, success.
Yes. It has to be novel to the degree that I feel knocked on the head by it.
Yeah, eccentric and all the rest.
Exactly. But if that tension is increased, then with each succeeding generation, the person is put to tremendous stress, not to repeat the past, which he can't help repeating.
Repeating quite. That's why I say freedom is one thing and knowledge is another. We must relate the two and see whether the mind can be free from knowledge. We won't go into it now. This is real meditation for me. You follow, sir?
Yes, I do.
Because when we talk about meditation, we'll go into it. But whether the brain can record and be free not to record. Brain to record and operate when necessary in the recording, in memory, in knowledge, and be free to observe without the observer.
Oh yes, I see. That distinction seems to me absolutely necessary. Otherwise, it wouldn't be intelligible. No, yes.
So, knowledge is necessary to act in the sense my going home from here to the place I live. I must have knowledge. I must have knowledge to speak English. I must have knowledge to write a letter and so on. Everything. The knowledge as function is mechanical function is necessary. Now if I use that knowledge in my relationship with you, another human being, I am bringing about a barrier, a division between you and me, who is the observer. I'm making myself clear.
And I'm the observed in that case,
right,
in that context.
That is, knowledge in relationship, in human relationship, is destructive. That is, knowledge which is the tradition, the memory, the image which the mind has built about you when we are related together, that knowledge is separated and therefore creates conflict in that relationship. As we said earlier, where there is division, there must be conflict. Division between India and Pakistan, India and America, Russia and all that, this divisive activity, politically, religiously, economically, socially, in every way, must inevitably bring conflict and therefore violence. That's obvious.
Exactly.
Now, when in relationship, in human relationship, knowledge comes between, then in that relationship there must be conflict. Between a wife, husband and wife, boy and girl, wherever there is the operation of as the observer who is the past, who is knowledge, in that activity there is division and therefore conflict in relationship.
So now the question that comes up next is the one of freedom from being subject to this repetitive round.
That's right.
Good, good.
Now, is that possible? You follow, sir? It's an immense question because human beings live in relationship.
Yes.
There is no life without relationship. Life means to be related.
Exactly.
People who retire into a monastery and all that, they are still related. However much they might like to think they are alone, they are actually related.
Yes.
Related to the past.
Oh yes, very much so.
To their Savior, to their Christ, to their Buddha, to their... You follow all that, they are related to the past.
And their rule.
And the rules, everything.
Yes.
They live in the past. And therefore, they are the most destructive people. Because they're not creative in the deeper sense of that word.
No, and they also, insofar as they are involved in this confusion that you've been talking about,
yes,
are not even producing anything novel.
Not
that means anything, but perhaps that would rather radically...
The novel would be for a man who is talkative to enter a monastery where they don't talk.
Yes.
That's a novel to him, and he said that's a miracle.
Right.
So, our problem then is, what place has knowledge in human relationship?
Yes. That's the problem.
That's one problem.
Yes.
Because relationship with human beings is the highest importance, obviously. Because out of that relationship we create the society in which we live. Out of that relationship all our existence comes.
This would take us back again to the earlier statement, I am the world and the world is me.
That's right.
That is a statement about relationship.
Yeah,
it's a statement about many other things too, but that is a statement about relationship. The statement, the description is not the described, is the statement of the rupture of the relationship.
That's right.
In terms of everyday activity.
So, everyday activity is my life, is our
everything.
life.
Yes, precisely.
Whether I go to the office, factory, or drive a bus, or whatever it is life, living.
But it is interesting, isn't it, that even when that rupture is undergone at a very destructive level, what we've called thought in the context of our description of it and image becomes itself even distorted.
Of course, of course.
So that the distortion that we've been calling knowledge in terms of its application, not what you described as I need to know how to get from here to there. No, of course. Can itself suffer an even worse condition than we are presently related to. And we have tomes upon tomes about that pathology in itself, don't we? Yes, yes. Please do go on.
So, knowledge and freedom, they must both exist together. Not freedom and knowledge. It's the harmony between the two. The two operating all the time in relationship.
The knowledge and
freedom.
The freedom in harmony.
In harmony, it's like they can